This was an epic game that I just witnessed. Friends don't let friends be state fans. I'm telling you. Tom Izzo, man, did he cry on his birthday and lost to the Wolverines. Go Blue. Same for Adam Nightingale's team. Michigan State hockey is number 2 in the nation. Michigan hockey, number 1 in the nation. For a reason, we score more than the other team. That's right. Number 1, Michigan was 22-4. Playing number 2, Michigan State, 21-5. It was the first time that both were 1-2 in the 100+ year history of these two programs. They split the first series earlier in this season. Both won away games. Michigan State already won at YOST, and Michigan won at MUN. This was the third game that I was able to watch on TV, basically, and that's bullshit. But thank you for FS1 for airing this game because it was an instant classic. Michigan went on a flurry of chances for about 2 minutes straight early in this game, and Trey Augustine, Michigan State's amazing goalie, the best goalie in the nation, stopped every attempt for about from 4 minutes in to 6 minutes in. Michigan attacked early. Shots, though, were 5-4 Michigan State. They kept putting the random puck on Peck's goal, and Peck is done admirably replacing Ivankovich's role after he got hurt. He's doing great. Michigan won this game in overtime, 4-3, but we'll get to that. Shots were 5-4 at 12-12 into this game. 12-12 left in the first period. Stephen Peck gloved a Michigan State goal with 7 minutes left. Caught it. It was awesome. Michigan State then Stramel rifled in a goal. I think it was close to the right circle. Yeah, I'm new to hockey as much as the next guy, but I should know this. What's the face-off set? The right circle, right? That's pretty much what it is. He scored from there, and it was Michigan State leading 1-0. 5 minutes to go in the first period. Michigan then answered right after that, though, with a deflection, is what they called it, to tie it for Michigan at 1-1 with 3 minutes left. It was Moldenhauer on the deflection, but it was Schock that shot it. And so if there was a deflection or not, it was Schock or Moldenhauer. Both of them players get a point. It ended, this first period in this game ended with a 1-1 tie. But Michigan State led in shots. No penalties were called yet in this rivalry game, 1 versus 2, which surprised me as well. See, Tom Izzo, you can be cordial and play Michigan. I digress. In the second period, at 12:32 left, some fisticuffs happened. They got riled up, and the ref said one player from each team was going to be out. It was a 4-on-4 that didn't help either team, as Augustine saved one at the end of that sequence to kill those 2 penalties. Robertson, broke up a 2-on-1 that Michigan State could have easily scored. He got a great stick on a puck, but with under 5 minutes left, Michigan State capitalized on some back-and-forth transition play in this game, where, it was kind of half ice, half-court play. But then it was going back and forth. Michigan had a chance. Michigan State had a chance. Well, Michigan State capitalized for the 2-1 lead. And then with 2:17 left in the second period, another flurry on Peck led to another goal for Michigan State. This time it was Owen West. They had a 3-1 lead. Michigan State led in shots 24-17. Michigan was down 2 goals in the third period, and my dad got up and went inside. I said, no, Michigan's a third period team. They get better every period, basically. They were 48-20 in the third period. Now they're 50-20. As they scored 2 goals in this period. We'll get to it. But at the time, could they overcome the deficit to this number 2 team in the nation, up 2 goals? Michigan was 29 of 20 on face-offs at the end of the second period, which I thought boded well for Michigan. They can win the face-offs. It was the puck play. Sometimes we were getting good passes, but we couldn't handle the pass. Horkoff was an example of this. It wasn't his best game, that's for certain. But Michigan State, was 17-0 after leading the first 2 periods. Well, 17-1 now, because with 17:55 left in this game, in the third period, Spence was tripped, but it was a no call. Michigan State got dirty. And the play was under review because of a Brandon Naurato challenge. Michigan State head coach challenged this. But as the commentators eloquently stated, it would need to be a 5-minute major, which it wasn't. But that does not mean that Spence was not tripped. He was. Still, no man advantages in this game. We had that 4-on-4 early. No one-man advantage. No penalties until I was thinking that eventually a stoppage was because Michigan's player's helmet came off. Still no penalty with 13:25 left in this game. Then, after a flurry of chances versus Augustine, Michigan had no goals. It was to no avail. And it was a TV timeout with 12:24 left. This was getting exciting. Michigan was still down 2, but I had hope. I did. Park then to Bennett made it a 1-goal game. It was 3-2 Michigan State with 9:33 left in this game. Both teams wanted penalties at 8:05 left. The YOST was screaming at the officials. Nightingale and everyone was thinking they deserved a penalty. The refs let these teams play up until this moment where Michigan State was the lucky one. They were the lucky recipient to get the first penalty. At 7:49 left in this game, and Yost was shouting bullshit. It was exciting to watch this game. Michigan's power play needed a kill. And they needed to be great. And they were. They were, because Michigan's Draper scored the short-handed goal. Reverse Michigan State on the first penalty called versus the team in this game. Yes. Let's fucking go, Michigan. This was a tie game at that point, 3-3, with 7:08 left in this game, and Michigan had their 10th shorthanded goal of the season. But Michigan State still had the power play. This game was 1 versus 2, and it was tied all of a sudden in the third period late. Michigan State still had time on the power play. But Michigan killed the rest of the power play, and a TV timeout came with Peck getting another save. With 5 minutes and 23 seconds left in this game, it was tied. Peck had a great glove save out of the timeout as well for Michigan. Shots still favored Michigan State 32-29 with 3 minutes left, but Michigan was attacking. Eventually, time expired in regulation, and we got overtime for number 1 and number 2, rivals Michigan State. We went 5, it was a 5-minute period, supposed to be 3-on-3. It wasn't Horkoff's best game as he fumbled another puck tonight in overtime. It should have been a crisp pass where he could have got a goal, but he fumbled it. But Michigan then got their first call of the game. The refs evened it up in overtime with 3:24 left. And it was a 4-on-3 instead of a 3-on-2. I guess they added a guy from Michigan, and instead of taking a guy away from Michigan State at that moment, I guess that's fair. I don't know. But Michigan State, it was a tripping call. And they've been tripping Michigan all game. And Michigan's Michael Hage found Perron for the game-winning goal. In overtime, Michigan wins this game late because calls were not there all game. But all of a sudden, Michigan scored on a shorthanded goal, a call that was for Michigan State. And then they scored on a goal in overtime, a call that went for Michigan. They capitalized on that too. We win any which way. Let's fucking go. You know, Michigan basketball beat them too. Michigan State barely has a football program. You know, good luck, Pat Fitzgerald. 4 wins last year, didn't make a bowl. Michigan, on the other hand, made a bowl, had a game with Texas, could have made the playoff, close game versus Ohio State. But this hockey team, number 1 in the nation now, and still, after they take down number 2 by 2 to win this game 4-3. They were down 2. They won this game by 1. Let's go. Tomorrow, these two will find their way to the D, that's Detroit, for hopefully another great hockey game. Go Blue. Well, Michigan basketball should be number 1, but they're number 2. They're beating teams. Let's go hockey. Michigan now has a 4-point lead in the Big Ten standings in hockey after this victory versus number 2. They play them in the D tomorrow. We'll see if there's a reaction to that one. Because, as I said, Michigan basketball is playing Ohio State. This could be a prominent night for Michigan. So stay tuned. Tomorrow, Saturday. But what an amazing game. Down 2 versus number 2. And come back and win in overtime. Scoring shorthanded goals and getting a power play goal. Thank you, Brandon Narado. Go Blue.